Hi, this is Jack Kelly, founder and CEO of WeCruitr, social media platform that connects job seekers with recruiters, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff too. But also, that's not it. I do more. I am the best-selling author of You Will Get That Great New Job. And this series of podcasts, I'm going into the book talking about how you can get a job and all the little things you need to do on that path towards getting that great new job. So today, I'd like to share with you, before you even start looking for a job, I'll tell you, even before you do a resume, even before you do LinkedIn, you got to do this one thing first. And what it is, and this is actually, ironically, probably one of the hardest things to do. And that's to really decide and carefully consider, why do I want to look for a new job? And to be very honest with yourself in a self-assessment, are the reasons for looking for a new job valid? And here's what I mean by that. What I found out, being a recruiter, I should mention this too, I've been a recruiter for 20 plus years, placed thousands of people with really top tier companies. And I've noticed that quite often people move, and they don't move for rational reasons. It could be because maybe they didn't get the promotion they wanted, and it's a big, hey, F you, I'm out of here. It could be they didn't get the bonus they thought they deserved. It could be a momentary time where the company's not doing that well, and you're thinking, I'm a little nervous, let me get out of here. And it could just be one of those things where in a fit of just anger, resentment, aggravation, you're like, you know what, I'm out, goodbye. In my experience, it never ends well when people leave for those kind of momentary or very, very, very light reasons for looking. What you need to do before, like as I mentioned, before you do anything is really, I would even encourage you, whether you read the book or just from this podcast, to kind of jot these things down. For instance, the first thing you have to do is think, hey, do I have growth opportunity where I am? Is there the ability to get to the next level, take on new challenges, learn new things, grow, both professionally and financially? If, let's say, you're at a company for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, and nothing changes, yes, I'd say that's a pretty valid reason for looking. Because after all that time, either A, people should realize your value, or B, maybe just in the wrong place, in the wrong job, at the wrong time, and you have to go. So you have to really analyze these kind of things. So you want to see if you're getting that forward momentum with your career. Now, it could be maybe the company's in financial difficulties, so they can't give it to you. So it's not that there's not the chance to grow and develop. It's just right here, right now, temporarily, that it can't work or it won't work out that well. It doesn't mean down the road. Now, if time goes on and it doesn't change, then you might have to say, all right, I have to start looking. You also want to think about your manager and your manager's manager and the whole executive suite. Are these the kind of people who could mentor you? Are these the kind of people that could help you grow and blossom and develop your career? Are they encouraging? Are they supportive? Or conversely, are these the kind of people that really couldn't care less about you? The kind of person who takes all the credit, who throws you under the bus or your colleagues under the bus the first chance they get? Are these the kind of unpleasant bosses, and we've all seen them and have them or know people who had them, who just will yell at you in front of everybody and it's really super uncomfortable, or they'll pit people against each other? If you're in that kind of environment, you realize, wow, the people in management, my boss, my supervisor, their bosses, I don't feel comfortable with them. I don't trust them. I don't like them. They're not helping me grow my career. They couldn't care less about me. It makes sense to leave. As related to that too, with your boss, I would make sure that what you do is from time to time check in to see how's that relationship going. How do they perceive you? Usually there's an annual review or a biannual review, but maybe from time to time you find a subtle way to get a sense, where do I stand? Where do I fit in? Sometimes some managers will kind of let you know, hey, this is not going to really work out, or you get those little cues that you need to move forward. Some other things you got to look at is this. Hey, how are your coworkers? Because that's a big important, part of your work life. Studies show that most people will stay at a company for a long time because of the coworkers they're surrounded with. Even if they don't really love their job, and even if they're earning less money at this place than they can other places, they just like the environment. So if you're in an environment that you don't have a support system, that you don't have people you could turn to for advice, if there's no camaraderie, if you don't feel happy coming in the morning because everyone is miserable, you know what? That's probably a good reason to look around. So there's an array of other things you have to think of too. Some are kind of intangible. For instance, does your job have meaning? Does it serve a purpose? When you talk like that, people sometimes roll their eyes, like, really? I'm working I got to pay my bills? But trust me, there's a big difference. If you're working in a job that you feel fulfilled, you feel you're doing something worthwhile, whether it's helping people or working towards building something terrific and awesome, that propels you, and that's motivating. That's something that gets you up in the morning. Now, if you have some meaning and purpose and you feel fulfilled, plus you're getting paid well, plus you have good people around you, then you have it made. That's fantastic. If you're in a job that, let's say everything else is great, but you don't feel that might be time too to look around and say, hey, maybe I'm in the wrong job. Maybe I'm even in the wrong career. Because that's something that kind of will bring you down. You can only last so much doing something where you don't feel any sense of accomplishment. There's no other deeper appreciation that you're gaining from doing this. So I would say this. When you're starting to think of looking, you really have to say, hey, am I going for the right reasons? Am I going because, my boss is toxic, the coworkers are toxic, they're unethical. When people leave, they're not replaced and they just dump more work on me and they don't care. Management keeps taking people from outside, don't promote from within. If you start seeing all those signs and you realize there's just no hope, I'm wishing and hoping that maybe it'll get better where I am, but in your heart, it's not, then it's time to say, I got to kind of look outside and see what else is out there and start looking. If, on the other hand, and this might sound crazy coming from a recruiter who makes his living placing people, and with a new startup who's going to make a living by getting people new jobs, sometimes you might want to stay where you are. You may say, hey, you know what? The good far outweighs the bad, and the reasons I'm looking are really they're not that tangible. It's just, maybe I just don't like this person, or maybe I was passed over for that promotion, but you know what? The person who got it was pretty damn good and probably better than I am. So you want to look it through a realistic lens and really make a smart decision and not make a rash decision. Because I'll tell you this, what I've noticed also is sometimes when people leave too soon, or they leave capriciously, or they leave for the wrong reasons, they end up going to another role, and then within maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, they realize, what did I do? It's like a relationship. You leave, and then you have a rebound relationship, and that doesn't work out, and then you're on to something else. Same thing with a job. You kind of leave, and then you realize, what the heck did I do? I made a big mistake. And then you want to leave again, and then it gets really harder because the hiring managers are going to kind of question, what are you doing? So think long and hard. Take a look at the chapter in the book for You Will Get That Great New Job. Again, I'm kind of plugging it, sorry. And gives you a little bit more details. And this way you can make sure you're leaving for all the right reasons. And you might also stay and decide that, hey, this is the right place. Thank you so much.